Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Madcap and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends and another in our series of I Built Them So You Don't Have To. But first, that is right, is the 2-year anniversary of Raid Shadow Legends, and in true Raid Shadow Legends style, there will be a week-long celebration. There will be opportunities for you to pull shards for additional chances to get legendaries. There will be fragments available to you this week. A whole bunch of different events going on to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of Raid Shadow Legends. Please stay tuned, check the official Discord of Raid Shadow Legends, watch their Facebook, or go to one of your favorite content creators who does the daily news reels to make sure you don't miss out on any opportunities to get extra legendaries, extra equipment, extra books, you name it. It is up for grabs in the coming week. My suggestion, follow Chosen. He has daily news reels that he does on his channel. You will not miss a thing so long as you are subscribed to him. I don't do news, otherwise I'd tell you just to get it from me, but do pay attention daily because there's going to be new stuff going on all the time. And with another piece that I want to get out there before we get on to the actual video, for those of you, it was the second month of giving away free gems, so congratulations to Jay Harris, Matthew Vario, and Richard LaBelle. You have won the YouTube section of the gem giveaway. Congratulations. Within the week, they will be on your account. And for the Twitch side of things, it was I Think Bad Thoughts and Breaker 23 Rules. Congratulations to all of you. Use them wisely, hopefully in the coming week, or just blow them as soon as you get them. Who cares? They're yours. You can do what you want with them. Now on to the actual video. It is I Built Them So You Don't Have To. And today we're going to talk about Fodbor the BARD. So without further ado, here he is. Fodbor the BARD is a Spirit Affinity epic attack-based champion of the Dwarven faction. Here he is, smoking a pipe like a true boss. And let me tell you, we have been waiting for him. You didn't know it, but we knew it. We've been waiting for this champion. Why, you ask? Because of his kit. We'll get to that in a second. His stats: HP 15360, attack 1454, defense 826, speed 100 on the dot, very beautiful speed, crit rate 15, crit damage 60%, resist 30. I don't know why it's not 60. Plarium, the dwarves supposed to have higher resist, whatever. And also, as part of going forward, I'm going to start mentioning the attack multipliers on their abilities as well, just because this way you have a good number as well as an actual visual representation when we go in and test it. But his A3 has a 3.4 multiplier on his attack. His A2 has a 5.5 multiplier, and his A1 is a 1.2, but keep in mind it is a 3-hit multi-hit. So that is Fodbor the BARD. What is his kit? Well, let's take a look. His A3 attacks all enemies, has a 75% bookable to 100% chance of placing the big 60% decrease debuff for 2 turns. That is a 5-turn bookable to 4-turn cooldown. His A2, which is also his hardest hitting one, attacks one enemy, has an 80 bookable to 100% chance of stealing 2 random buffs from the target, or has an 80 bookable to 100 again, chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn instead if the target has no active buffs. And this is 4 turns bookable to 3-turn cooldown. And finally, his A1 has attacks one enemy 3 times, has a 15 bookable to 30% chance of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. Let's talk about his kit. Dwarves have not had an AoE defense down champion until now. This champion is so important for Faction Wars progression, it cannot be understated. He might be the most important champion to be released in any faction in any recent time. The reason is quite simple. There are a lot of people who have finished Dwarves. They did it through hard work, effort, 11-minute runs, 10-minute runs, and then comes Fodbor. He is going to cut your times down insurmountably. It is going to be ridiculous. I've already done it. I've already seen it on my own. We're going to do some runs in Faction Wars, but first, let's take a look at how I built out Fodbor the BARD. So here is my Fodbor the BARD. You can see I have him with accuracy. I have him with speed gear. I want to make sure he's going first on whatever team I have. The speed you need just needs to be faster than your damage dealing champions, and that's what we have here with him. I also have him 319 accuracy. That's plenty of accuracy for Faction Wars, more than enough for general in general dungeons. And this champion, let me take a look at the stats here that I have him with. I have him at 3790 attack, defense 1735, 215 speed, 252 crit damage, and a debuff accuracy of 319, 31, 647 on his HP. But what we're actually going to do, and I'm going to do this right now, is for testing his damage, I want to actually move him over to this banner here, the attack banner. For dungeons, for most dungeons, 220 is more than enough accuracy. The Ice Golem might be the exception, but definitely if you're taking him into the Fire Knight where he would absolutely do well, even the Ice Golem where he's absolutely going to do well, he's going to hit those waves pretty well. I've only had the odd resist in testing him. 223 is more than enough, and so I want to get that extra attack just for the sake of testing his damage out, seeing what those multipliers really mean in real world numbers. So just to update it here, we're going to be doing 41, 45 attack. We're going to be doing everything else pretty much the same, a little bit more HP. And we're going to take that into the Ice Golem. We're going to test him out, see what he can do for damage. Then I'm going to put the accuracy banner back on, and we're going to take him in and do some testing as your debuffer. Okay, so here he is. His masteries, by the way, we went down accuracy tree. I do like having this because obviously we're using 2 speed sets. We're using 1 accuracy set. So Lore of Steel is very helpful. Always take, if you can, unless there's a compelling reason that you're going a different direction, always take Evil Eye, especially when it's a single target A1, because that 20% decrease is an absolute game changer in many cases. So make sure you go that way. Neither of these abilities really appealed to me. If you are worried about using his heal reduction, then definitely take Sniper, 100%. Also, if you don't have a developed Great Hull or you're struggling meeting accuracy needs, you would go down Sniper and then follow that up with Eagle Eye. That way you can get the extra 50 accuracy. But we want to see what kind of damage he can do. That's our primary focus on him. So you can see over here, we're going down the offense tree. We're going to Helm Smasher. He does have a 3-hit A1, which means Giant Slayer, especially if you're building him out to be a little bit more tanky, a little less damage, Giant Slayer would be an absolute great ability for him, especially in Faction Wars. I know, especially Faction Wars 21, you're going to need that survivability. You probably won't build them out this way, but you're going to want to probably go Giant Slayer, because if you're not doing the big hits, the Helm Smasher is going to be less effective, whereas Giant Slayer doesn't care about your damage, it cares about his health. So definitely make those decisions. Also, if you're planning to use him in the Clan Boss, obviously Giant Slayer is the way to go. That said, we need to talk about where I wanted to use him. I can put him through dungeons, but he's a defense down champion. You know how they work. You know how this one works. Think Dagger. Think War Maiden. Both of these champions are better than him at that. And the reason is because he's got this 4-turn rather than 3-turn cooldown. And that makes all the difference in the world when running through dungeons, when going through arena, all these different places. So what I want to do, because this is what everyone is thinking about when looking at this champion, it's not, boy, I sure wish I had a defense down. If you need them, if this is the only one you got, build them out. Highly recommended. But what you are all probably really looking at is, how can he help me in Faction Wars? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him through Faction Wars 20. If you want to know what it looks like on 21, I have plenty of videos on Faction Wars 21 with previous dwarfs that I've put through. But what I want to put him through is Faction Wars 20 to show you how much more he is helpful. My Faction Wars 20 averages about 4.5 minutes under the current team that I used. We're just going to take him right in there after the damage, and then we're going to show you. But first, before I get ahead of myself, I love getting ahead of myself. Let's take him into the Ice Golem. We can see what kind of damages he's doing. We'll compare him against some like champions and see what it see what it says about him. All right, so let's move on to there. Here we are in Ice Golem, and we have some mainstays of the Ice Golem. We have some AoE. We have some single target damage. He's got both, so I thought I'd bring a little mixture of both in there. We have our debuffer, as always, Venus, and then we brought in Luria, we brought in Phoenix, we brought in Knight Errant, and of course Fodbor. Let's take a look and see what these damages mean and what we're looking at for total damage dealt. Whoa, there we go. Oh, good, just in time. So there's the defense down and weaken. Now let's check out his AoE. Boom, strictly for damage sake, you see that, some pretty good damage. Now, of course, we're actually only going to be able to do this twice so that we can compare. She's going to kill them, I'm pretty sure. But we're going to see those kind of 40, 50s, 49. So you can see the kind of damages she's doing, around 50k per. Let's check out 281, 236. She only did 146 of actual damage, but she would have been in that same 250 range as the other two. So needless to say, we're looking at approximately the same multiplier on their AoEs. Phoenix is in Savage gear, and I'll show you that in a second. In fact, let's just show you that now so you guys are aware of what's going on with the other champions. So my Luria is probably the weakest. She's 3701, 240 crit damage, 30k HP, obviously 231 accuracy, so she can land those freezes. And then we have our Phoenix. The big deal with Phoenix is he is in Savage gear, and he's 4282 at 239. And then of course we'll see Knight Errant in the single target show, but he's got 39, 31, and 241. There they are. Those are the main, and of course you've already seen Fodbor. So let's try it again. Let's show some. There's the defense. Now his A2 again. 71k. No proc on the Helm Smasher. We'll use his A2 or his A3. 101. It did ignore defense because he's wearing Savage gear. Still, that's a significant difference that I don't think is just a matter of Helm Smasher. He's legitimately just hitting harder. Her A3, well, I don't know if it'll kill her. Oh, it did 58. So 58, 60,000. He did 60 the first time, 70. So they're very similar, those two. Obviously, she has less HP. And then finally, we'll take our boy, who should hit way more. 155. Of course, he's got full HP, so that's how that's gonna go. One last battle. Let's check their A1s here. It's pretty significant. Phoenix is just a better champion. You know, the AoE hit a little bit more. You could argue they probably have similar multipliers. You could look it up, but overall the damages are very similar. But that's a significant difference. And then, of course, when you get to the A1s, you're putting a heal reduction versus a block revive. Those are vastly different on the wanted scale, so to speak. Now, keep in mind, he does have a triple hit here. So we got 15, 15, 12. That's okay. Decent hits. Now we'll give it to Phoenix, 60 and 70. Like, it's not even close. And then Luria, boom, 46. So very similar. And then A1 here, boom, 64. So, you know, gives you a pretty good idea. We'll see the numbers here. All right, 41, 43. So very similar again. Phoenix just in a next level. He actually did more damage than that. It just didn't count it. And Knight Errant is kind of in between. So gives you an idea. Fodbor the Bard, he is an attack-based champion. He's going to do damage for you. He's not going to be crazy damage. He's not going to be... he's probably going to be very comparable to Dagger as far as damages go. But obviously, with a different toolkit, he's got the stun. He does have... you know, just the defense down, but it is 100%. So it is helpful, but it's on a 4-turn cooldown. All right, here we are. This is stage 20 of Faction Wars. This is a much different team than I would normally bring in. In the old days, I would bring in, I would have Melga, I would have Runekeeper, and I would have Rearguard Sergeant with a Mountain King and a Torment, or a Mountain King and a Bear Doll. It was the sustain on the battle was so long that I had to make sure to have the shields, have the revive, have the heals, have all that, or else I was gonna lose. But here, Faction Wars 20, I know I'm not taking you through 21 only because quite honestly I've got 13 minutes to film this, but you get the same deal. If you're going to 21, you're gonna take him, you're just gonna make him very high sustain, you're gonna put a ton of HP on our boy here, and on Fodbor. All right, here we are, Faction Wars 20. I've tried a couple different iterations of this. You can see I ran it once with Runekeeper. This time we're putting in Melga just for some survivability. I would recommend that if you are only using Fodbor for Faction Wars, to tank him up a bit. Don't worry about his damage. It's nice to have, but it's not crucial. What is crucial is his debuffs. You're going to see how much faster this is. This is normally a 4.5 minute. I'd bring in Melga. I'd bring in Rearguard. I'd bring in Runekeeper, and then I'd have 2 damage dealers with him to just try to whittle down the champions. Now we've got that defense down. We're bringing in all-out attack. This is a damage Torment or a damage-esque Torment. This is obviously BARD all-attack champion. Mountain King, that high damage. Even though I don't even have him built out crazy damage, he still does it. And of course, we only have the one sustain. You can do it with Runekeeper. You can do it, this time we're going to do Melga. You can do it with Rearguard Sergeant. I just brought in Melga because I know that my Fodbor is a bit fragile, so I just want to bring someone in to revive just in case we get some unlucky rotation there. But you can see how quick, look at the damage already. Like, it's not even close. It is, it's pretty crazy in my opinion, to be honest with you. How much more damage, you know, it's obvious. It's 60% defense reduction, so of course it is. But it's still, when you see it, it just, it seems to resonate so much more. Like, this is going to be a 30-second first round. I've never seen a 30-second, well, I did earlier today, but before building out Fodbor, I never saw this sort of thing. So here's round 2. Now this is where it is a bit of a pain in the butt, and it's an unfortunate side effect of the fact that it's a 4-turn cooldown. And here it is there. We're good now. We're going to start whittling away. But if it was a 3-turn cooldown, they wouldn't even have had a chance to go. So, I mean, not a huge deal, but just something to keep in mind. And he's going to be able to do damage as well, which is nice. They're frozen, which is actually not a good thing for us because it makes them a little tankier. And the stuns, like, just, I love his kit actually for this. He can stun him out. You know, having your Torment in a stun set definitely helps. But we're going to get to that boss in about a minute 30 by the looks of it. Oh, unfortunately he used that. Or get to the 3rd round here. And here's the other part of his kit. He steals buffs, right? Well, there's a couple champions here who place buffs. Now, it's a weak kit. That is the one problem, but he can definitely steal buffs as so long as he doesn't get locked out by the Aothar. Well, he ain't getting locked out, but that Aothar ain't locking out anything. And look how much quicker it is. We're already 1 man down. 2 men down. We're under 2 minutes so far. And this is like 4.5 minutes. I'm not even lying to you. That is what my team would do. And it looks like we're going to get this in, what, 2.25? And with, by the way, with Runekeeper, it was 2:22 was the speed that I happened to get him in at. But I think we're even going to beat that if yeah, Mountain King's going to go 2:05. It's going to be the fastest time on this Dwarf Crypt for me. So this is what he brings to the table. Because you can do damage so much more quickly, he is able to make runs quicker. I have only one sustained champion. That's Melga. I didn't even have to use her. She didn't even have to res anyone. You could put any of those Runekeeper, you could put Rearguard, any of those champions in here. Probably even someone like any of the epic champions that are your defensive base, your sustained champions. But he just makes the whole team better and is able to do this quicker. 2-minute Faction Wars 20 instead of a 4.5 minute. That is pretty crazy. So there you go. There he is. Let's now go to my final thoughts. My final thoughts on Fodbor are this. Dude fights with a pipe. Still in his mouth. Hitting people. He don't care. Just smoking away. He is a great champion for dwarves. He is what Dwarf Faction Wars needed for a lot of people who have yet to pass through 20, 21, 19, 18, even, you know, those that need that person. This is your guy. Do not pass on him. Build him. Even if you've already passed Faction Wars 21 as I have, he's going to speed up your runs. He's going to allow you, with whatever champions you have, to do better because he's going to make everyone else hit harder, which means the runs are going to be quicker. And if you kill people quicker, you don't run the risk of dying yourself. It's math. It's science. Now, Faction Wars 21, I will say, it's not quite as good because he is an attack-based champion and it is a 4-turn cooldown. A lot of people with the Rearguard Sergeant and her A1, if you get that going properly, remember that boss has a cleanse on it, so that 4-turn cooldown better happen at the right time or it's not good at all. I just put that as a word of warning. 21, if you don't have a Rearguard especially, yeah, this guy's going to be awesome. But he's not going to be top tier because of that cleanse that the Faction Wars boss has on level 21. So that is a word of warning. Other than that, love him for Faction Wars. What I don't love him for is everywhere else. And the reason why is he hits great, fine. There's 500 champions that hit strong. It's a 4-turn cooldown, which effectively makes him, yes, less compelling than 2 rares in the game, War Maiden and Dagger. Both of those champions I would recommend over him for building out an defense down champion. It's not enough. His kit's cool. I like his kit. If you need someone to block heals, for example, Fire Knight, or for the Spirit Potion Keep, great. He's great for there. You can use him in Ice Golem. But at the end of the day, I think if you had to choose between Dagger and this champion in all scenarios, even Ice Golem, I would say War Maiden, despite being weak affinity, you can build her out tanky, you can build him out tanky. You can give them tons of HP so that you don't worry about their damage. Both of them are similar. The difference is 3-turn cooldown versus 4-turn cooldown. It is so much more important. So how would I change this champion to make him next level? Keeping in mind that I'm fully supporting building this champion out for Faction Wars, I would change that to a 3-turn cooldown. I'm okay with everything else. I love the stun or steal buffs. Love that ability. It's making him useful in multiple areas of the game. He'd probably be good in a pinch in even in Doom Tower, but 3-turn cooldown, no. His A1, I like the heal reduction. It comes in handy in certain places. It's a multi-hit A1. Anytime you get a multi-hit A1, it's great. Again, I'm going to go back to it. 4-turn cooldown on that A3 is just not good enough. It should be a 3. He's an epic. Should be a 3-turn cooldown in a faction that has no debuffs, defense down, AoE debuffs. He's needed, but I think it's kind of rude, kind of chintzy, kind of stupid, honestly, that he has a 4-turn and not a 3-turn cooldown. Other than that, I love him. What do you think? Am I being too hard? Am I asking for too much here? I don't think so. What do you think? Leave it in the comments down below. Have fun this week with the 2-year anniversary. I appreciate you joining me in the video. Congratulations to the gem winners, and be kind, be safe, practice social distancing, and we'll see you in the next video.